Please note that this is just a review of the final work and is not an endorsement of the creator. Any opinion or prior actions belonging to the creators involved, unless otherwise stated, are not a factor in this review. Thank you.
Hey guys, StarCraft here. Been a while since I've done a video. A lot of all this stuff going on online. Don't want to get into any of that. No rant, no nothing. Doing something I should have done a while ago. Kept on trying to do a few new videos, but I kept slipping back into the routine of using scans and everything, and takes too much time. And I always then focus on another one. This time, I'm going back to what I should have done. And now, I said I was going to do a Danger Girl spotlight. I will. But for now, I'm doing what I'm in the mood on right now, and that's Alan Davis. Why? Well, one, the final Thanos graphic novel, which he does the artwork for, is coming out soon. Causing me to re-look back through that, and I decided to re-look back through some of his other work that I own. And I decided to give a little spotlight treatment to JLA the Nail and JLA Another Nail. What are these Elseworlds? Well, these are ones written and drawn by Alan Davis with inks by Mark Farmer, his regular collaborator. And basically it's one of the most original Elseworlds tale with such a simple premise. Basically, if you go by the whole... Oh, should also point out, I actually had Alan and Mark both sign this. But yeah, there's that old adage of, for the want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For the want of a shoe, the horse was lost. For the want of a horse, the knight was lost. For the want of a knight, the battle was lost. So it was, a kingdom was lost, all for the want of a nail. So it just takes one little thing that can ruin an entire thing. Just the smallest of a notion, as smallest of a, one small little thing can cause so much change. And in this case, what if the Kents got a flat tire? And if Martha was feeling a little shameless that day. Oh boy. But because of that, it's like they're like, not saying Bourne's gonna go on today anyway. They head back in the house as the rocket comes crashing down. What happened to it? We'll get to that, and I'm not really happy on how that... Hold on a second. There we go. Sorry, the lighting kept on shifting around. But yeah, present day, Alex is now mayor of Metropolis. And the artwork by Alan Davis is great. What I love best about Alan Davis' artwork is that it's so classic, and yet it can fit in any time period. It's not like one of those type of very dated ones. No, it's just that right balance of classic in design, and yet looks detailed enough for him to be able to, work in any period. But yeah, we have the mayor's aide as Jimmy Olson. As we're seeing how throughout this history, he's been trying to have powers all over the place. That's important. And that's something that he always did, but in this case, there's no Superman. And basically, throughout all of this, we started to have it be that, basically without Superman is a prime example for everything. Heroes have more and more started to become, like, they do exist, but they don't have a prime example like Superman to rally behind and everyone to feel like the pure goodness. Doesn't help when you have someone like Batman, no one knows much about him. Then you have the incident with Ollie and Hawkman fighting Amazo, and because of Ollie's actions, he loses an arm, and Hawkman is killed, and both out of guilt for what he did and for other factors. Ollie has gone completely nuts, saying, just spouting out saying, they're taking over the world, they're alien invaders. And the rest of the league are just feeling like, we could have done more to help him. No one's paying him to say this is what he really believes. And, you just have stuff like that. And I do like how there's still fallout from that incident. For example, Shiera, Hawkwoman, still feels outraged over what happened with Carter. And Diana's trying to do everything she can to help everyone out, to make herself more presentable to the public, etc., etc. And it's soon agreed upon that, yeah, they need someone to help with their public image, because it's in the gutter. So, They hire Lois Lane. I love Alan Davis' business, Lois Lane. It's women. He does great women. He's one of those artists that does great women without having to make them the curvaceous models and everything. Again, I love those from all the other artists. But yeah, I mean, basically, one thing I do also like is that how you have Batman actually sees his eyes. That's important for later. But I just love it how Lois basically chews him out. Because Batman thinks, not a good idea. I'm not interested in any journalist's opinions of my actions. But then she calls him out, basically, on it. And, you immerse yourself in mystery and superstition. That's why, and that's why you have the worst public image of all. You deliberately scare people. That's his point. And, and all that. Now, of course, he and Bruce still doesn't trust him because he feels like, oh, they're just in it for the ratings. Even Barry White, they won't take that thing down. Then, I do love it in how we have Catwoman at Arkham. Why? It's not really said. But I do, again, look at just how amazing Alan Davis draws her. But all of a sudden, a big blast happens as the Joker arrives, wearing some Kryptonian-looking gauntlets as he breaks people out of Arkham. Batman then decides, I'm gonna go. Again, he's still against it all. They're all just, but I'm not debating or going over. Okay, here's the bit with Lois. You're your own worst enemy, Batman. You're so blinded by your crusade that you'll provide just cause for the media to portray all metahumans as monsters. When you really think about it, if there's no Superman to counterbalance Batman, that's not that far off. Of course, Batman then runs off to Arkham as Green Lantern drops Lois off. And again, everyone's just trying, talking about everything, figure out what going on. You have all this stuff going on as all of a sudden the Doom Patrol are attacked and everything. This is a throwback to the Silver Age. That's what I love best about it. Everything about this is Silver Agey. There's now a strange bubble over Arkham. No one else can get inside but the Bat family. But Batman tells the others, to stay, Batgirl and Robin to stay behind while he goes on in. But then here's something very weird. A strange barrier has appeared over the planet. Hal cannot get out, neither could Star Sapphire, Kal-el. And as he's going along, he finds Adam Strange. He tried to Zeta beam himself in and ended up getting hit and dying from the lack of air. He materialized inside of it. Again, nothing can get in or out. Meanwhile, then Joker's still laughing it up, torturing and trying to fight off Catwoman, and then Batman shows up. And using that device, Joker is no contest. And he was so hoping Batman would bring around the kids. They show up, and thanks to the device, Joker has both Batman in his grips and Batgirl and Robin. And Batman even tries to say, let me go, just please let them go. We don't see what happens, but Joker forces Batman's eyes open as he just starts to murder the two gruesomely. Again, we don't see it, but all the dialogue, everything, yikes. Then we have to see Darkseid and the Parademons are sending Parademons to put a bomb on Earth, but something ends up being the barrier, causes it to explode and take out a huge chunk of Apocalypse. And they even have Big Barda and scot-free, and basically Darkseid, becoming paranoid, decides there's this new Genesis doing, there will be war. He even kills off or zaps Metron even. Again, all this because he feels like no one else has that tech. I don't know if anyone has that tech. Clearly, this is your doing, but you're lying. So, again, he is this paranoid. We won't find out what happens until this. But yeah, eventually Catwoman strikes Joker, leaving him open for Batman to just go psychotic. And he just wails on Joker, beats on him, just gives a chase at everything. Again, the artwork on this is fantastic. Until finally, Batman grabs Joker and in the heat of the moment, breaks his neck. And Joker knew exactly what he was going to do. And unfortunately, Lois' words ring true. As in that moment, that gives the people, everyone in the world, a reason to hate the metahumans. Because again, they don't know he's a normal human. As far as they think he's a meta as well. And yeah, Bruce brings Selina to the Batcave, just, again, traumatized. Perry feels like, again, like he is speaking out against the metas, but again, you don't have Superman as an example. So as far as he can see, and as far as everyone else can see, this is all they're doing. Meanwhile, we find out the Green Lanterns are being brought in to deal with the sudden apocalypse, because that's a bigger threat than Earth, writing off why they don't go to Earth. Things like that. We have them dealing with Amazo attacking Ra's al Ghul and his forces. And Flash is able to help deal with that as, again, Rage basically says how all these attacks are happening all over. Someone is gunning for them. As Batman is in a stupor. He's a complete stupor, just wondering what's going on. And basically throughout all of this, we have, again, someone is offing these powerful metas and everything. Then, all of a sudden, for some reason, Metamorpho shows up and attacks and kills Perry. And Lex is basically saying this is an outrage, and then he just starts acting funky until Jimmy tells Lois, take a look at a place near Smallville. You know, things like that. You have stuff going on underwater in Atlantis with Ocean Master. Then you have what appears to be Robin appearing towards Batman. When he freaks out, it's Selina in a Robin outfit trying to snap him out of it, but it just makes things worse. Again, Hal is just trying. We have Green Lantern trying to figure out what's going on. Basically, the general gist of all this is that someone is gathering up metas. Something's preventing them from leaving Earth, which caused all that incident with Apocalypse, and someone's abducting, killing off big brain people. We then see that Lois goes to the Kent farm. It's courtesy of Lana Lang's earlier suggesting it. And while there, turns out the Kents, while they weren't raising Clark, they were at least giving refugee to a lot of other metahumans, keeping them underground and everything. Eventually then you start to have, for example, Superman. You have Wonder Woman trying to talk with some of the other members of the cabinet. But right as she leaves, the White House explodes, trying to help everyone until the Metal Men show up, programmed to attack her, saying she caused it. Again, more Silver Age characters utilized very well, until what looks like an OMAC takes her out. And, well, you started finding, you just have other moments like Shiera seeing people taunting about Hawkman despite all he's done. She just feels like there's no hope for humanity. There's no point in sticking around. Until she then flies in, to the fire, flies in, saves a bunch of kids, and the people rally behind her to tell the cops to back off. All the while then, Batman starts to realize there is something going on here. They see everyone getting captured, and with thanks from Selina, he finally snaps out of it, and they embrace. Then it seems, Lois, well, first of all, we have Hal fighting against the Omax. It does reveal they're a bunch of Bizarros, controlled with Brainiac symbols. Lois then approaches Jimmy, realizing something's up with him. Lex appears to be comatose or maybe dead, and then she's detected by a mutated Crypto. And then all of a sudden, she shoots him. Then Jimmy heat visions her gun. Yeah, turns out. Well, first I show the point up. Then turns out Batman was able to reverse engineer those weapons the Joker has, as he and Catwoman, now Batwoman, charges into the fight, starting to help turn the tides. Then, well, we find out that it turns out Lex found the alien craft long ago, and was able to find out. Now they couldn't find the infant within it, but they were able to utilize the genetic material left over, create the Brainiacs. Made Crypto, etc. Unfortunately, Crypto is dying and falling apart. And turns out Jimmy, Lex laced the Kryptonian genetics onto Jimmy. All of his other transformation stuff made him more acceptable to the DNA, and thus he has become the Kryptonian. He's the one that's been behind everything. And then he's basically telling Lois all of this, and basically saying, don't laugh at me! You always laughed at me! One sec. Sorry, lighting change. And then he flies up, ready to go kill all the heroes. Why? Why now? Well, there is a reason. But then I just like this. You have him dealing with Batman and Batwoman. And all the while Batman's hitting him, Jimmy's just smiling away. And their fight eventually continues on until they, was Hal trying to help out, enhancing Batman, but he's getting weakened from the fight. And then eventually, they land in front of a group of Amish where a familiar big guy comes up to him, telling him to leave him alone. Jimmy just zaps him with heat vision, revealing it's Kal-el, Superman. Yep, turns out he was found by a group of Amish, and I'm not sure where I want to feel about this. It's playing up to the stereotype of the Amish. I mean, it's probably the only way that Alan Davis could write it off without killing him, but it just feels too much out of nowhere. And then, he still decides to help. Clark and Kal then tells his parents that, they're telling him, no, don't go into it, don't. But Jimmy, getting tired of it, kills him. Which eventually leads to them fighting. And it is like almost bomb blast for each blow. Until eventually, great artwork there. A lot of the plot points that Alan Davis set up would fall short. That'll be one problem with both these miniseries. Until all of a sudden then, Jimmy starts to break down. Turns out he wasn't as compatible as thought. And he did all this stuff to rush it because he knew his time was done. And he was almost done. They keep fighting until eventually Jimmy just breaks down saying, we should have been friends. And then he collapses. Then Green Lantern show up, say something awesome happened on Apocalypse. The Kents help Clark out. And yeah, it's a very sad moment because he's mourning his parents. But it was then agreed, thanks to them, with his help, they're able to regain their image. And that ends the story. But then we get into here. I'm not going to go into much detail here because in this case, well, I'll start off with the beginning part first, and that was you have all these Green Lanterns fighting on Apocalypse because Darkseid's just gone way overboard. You have Scott being tortured as well as Big Barda, and then Scott just seemed to let himself die. And yeah, Barda's trying to break out, but she's like, only Scott was able to help me out. Turns out though, Scott was able to escape his body into her mother box. Then at the same time, we see Darkseid is killing off his forces, absorbing them with this suit that Desaad had created. And then eventually you have Big Barda gets a Green Lantern ring, becomes a Green Lantern, with Scott in the ring now, helping her out. And Scott's able to reconfigure Darkseid's suit, so he starts to absorb the entire planet until eventually he expands so big he absorbs all of Apocalypse, and he becomes so large he just breaks down, thus killing Darkseid. And one of the most awesome, it was an epic battle. Then we see Superman. He's trying to help out, but throughout all this we find out Superman's not really needed outside of his figure because he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's nervous around crowds. Makes sense from his Amish group upbringing. And yeah, just eventually later on, Superman tries to help out. Lois and the Kents can handle themselves later on. I'll show that. Hold on. Oh, where is it? Yeah, they deal with Eclipso. They're able to take care of him. It's like, why was he even needed? You have to be Lois is the one that comes up with the Clark Kent design. Turns out the Kents tried to do it and made him more look like the burly man. Again, which feels a little off. It's like, really? Okay, hold on. Where is it now? Here we go. See, stuff like that, where it's like, nope, less is more. It's like, really, Lois? And basically throughout all this, there's some side effects. There's something going on that's disrupting the multiverse, which exists in this Elseworld. And basically, it turns out all this tied into something that Darkseid was prepared for. It's a thing called, again, I'm flipping around because I'm just summing this up because, again, this book It's very good. It really is, but it's just all over the place. And it really wasn't needed except to wrap up loose ends. But yeah, this is called the limbo cell, and it's absorbing everything. And it's causing a disruption across the multiverse. That's what Darkseid was trying to deal with. But all the stuff, his attack forced his hand. Batman, meanwhile, was separated from the League. He's trying to figure stuff out. And we have Amazo's body's been abducted. Green Lantern had taken the brain out in the prior story. And basically throughout all of this, everything that happenings eventually leads into, well, one, Superman, not even with his great strength, can stop bringing this bomb into the limbo cell that could actually stop it. Oh no, and because even he can't survive throughout it. Nope, it's Amazo power and with the brain of Green Arrow in it. And basically, he utilizes it. You know, he gets put in a new body. His mind finally cleared up as he makes amends to everyone. And then he goes on in and uses a bow and arrow to shoot the bomb right into the limbo cell, destroying it. At the same time, Batman's dealing with a demonic-powered Joker until he gets help from the spirits of Batgirl and Robin. And it all ends then with everything saved, the multiverse saved, people pissed off at the Phantom Stranger because he was the one manipulating events. Batman shows up, rejoining the Justice League, and they all head off. The reason why I summed all that one up is that, like I said, it wasn't really needed. It wrapped up some plot points, but it felt like, again, it made some other points moot. The first one was fine on its own. The sequel is a good wrap up, I could say, but I wouldn't call it a good sequel. That's my opinion anyway. But either way, the artwork, so many of the ideas in this, they love letter to the Silver Age. It's so good. If you guys ever find these two trades, get them. Because seriously, Alan Davis, as you saw from the artwork I was showing off, he is incredible. And with Mark Farmer's inking and everything, you're gonna like some of the other stuff I start showing you guys. It's not gonna be as long because these are two trades. But the other ones are going to be individuals. But yeah, these are really, really good. I cannot highly recommend them enough. So, hopefully I can try and get more out of these. I can nothing much else to say, but catch you guys later.